We're building a company. We're going to progress this, using science.
The retail component, it's not 10, 11%. Is that a problem for you?
It depends if you want to buy shares on the open market. As time goes on, we'll be looking to get more liquidity, and with more news, that will also occur as well.
I don't know how you're going to get more liquidity just on news. I mean, what's the plan? Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. First of all, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. It helps us to understand the sorts of companies that you think we should be spending our time, money and effort on for you. And obviously leave a description below to help us understand the sorts of questions you think we should be asking, how you think we've done, and of course what you think of the company. You can also catch this as a transcription, an article and a podcast on cruxinvestor.com. And of course for our Crux Investor Club members, you get early access to this video. And if you haven't already done so, please click the button in the corner of the screen to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, for more videos like this, click the notification bell. We speak today to Garrett Ainsworth, who's the CEO of District Metals, their TSX-V company. Fairly early stages, just kicked off a few months ago. The CEO's put 1.6 million bucks of his own money into it, so I'm already listening to this. He is paying attention, so will I. They've targeted a project in Sweden, part of the DMX royalty portfolio. This is a polymetallic project, and obviously with the rising price of silver, it's actually technically been reclassified as a silver project. But we talked to him about the business plan, what he's hoping to do, how they're hoping to fund this, and a variety of other topics. So take a look below at the descriptions. Anything interests you in particular, click on the number beside that topic. That's got a timestamp, and I'll jump you to that part of the video. Otherwise, enjoy what he has to say. Garrett, how you doing, sir?
Excellent, Matt. Good to be on.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. News story. First time we've spoken on screen, so looking forward to hearing what you're going to be talking about. So where are you today? Which part of the world?
Well, I'm actually pretty happy to be in Kelowna right now. It's a great place to be during a pandemic.
Yeah,
a little bit more space. It's easier to do your social distancing and whatnot. So it's summer, full on.
No, I like it. I've been there a couple of times. Trying to do deals as opposed to enjoying the lake and the vineyards, but nevertheless gorgeous. Hey, so Garrett, why don't we kick off? Give us that 1 minute overview of the business, then we'll kind of pick it up from there.
Yeah, right. So District Metals, essentially, it's a very, very new company. We came together in about mid 2018, and our mandate was to find a high grade base and or high grade property somewhere in a good jurisdiction. So we looked all over the globe. We even looked at some jurisdictions that weren't so good. We came pretty close to a couple transactions along the way. It was about a 1.5 year process, and then I started looking at EMX's portfolio in Scandinavia. And there was one property in particular that really stood out, and that's the Tom Thibault project. And it's located in south central Sweden within the Bergslagen mining district. And that district is known for very large and very high grade polymetallic deposits, and 2 active mines right now, with Boliden operating Garpenberg and Lundin operating Zinkgruvan. And they're actually very rich in silver and in gold as well. So they revenue wise, they do very well off these mines. They're actually officially silver mines now that the price of silver has gone up over $22 an ounce. So it's funny how that changes.
It's funny how that changes. Why don't you gave us a bit of a clue about kind of what you set up. Well, the task that you set yourselves, not necessarily about what you're setting out to try and build here. So it was a case of, you've gone to Sweden. It's got a kind of rich history of mining. It's not too well known, perhaps getting a bit more press over the past couple of years for sure. So can we just talk about what was the business that you set up to do? 2018, you needed an asset, didn't really care where, as long as it was a reasonable jurisdiction, but what was the type of business that you think that you're trying to build, and how do you think you're going to go about delivering that?
Yeah, so the type of business is, and first off, I like to start off in districts where you can find the super high grade and the large tonnage type deposits, no matter what commodity you're looking for. That's why, the majority of my career I've spent in the Athabasca Basin hunting for uranium deposits and discovering them successfully. So when I went looking around at other districts, VMS districts are known quite often as very small, high grade type deposits, but the Bergslagen has a very diverse range of VMS, SEDEX, and carbonate replacement deposits that, again, high grade, high tonnage. That's where I want to be. And the thing about the district is that they didn't allow foreign companies to come in until the 1990s. It was all state-run companies that did the exploration, development, and mining. So, not a lot of systematic modern work was done, and it really has a wide open canvas to come in and apply today's techniques to lead to good discoveries. So, I'm an exploration geologist through and through. So exploration, discovery, delineation, and then look for a monetizing event. So, and that's another big box that got ticked in looking at the Bergslagen, is that, Lundin Mining is there. You've got Boliden, South 32 is also being active. Rio Tinto was active. They actually sold their zinc Gruven mine in early 2000 to Lundin. And you got Agnico Eagle. So it's a very, good region with major mining companies. And, in order to get that monetizing event, you need to have healthy mining companies that are actually able to purchase smaller companies.
Right. So let's dig into that a bit more, if we may. So you're an exploration geologist. I get it. So the type of company you want to be is a bit more than a prospector. You want to kind of take it through to what stage before you get taken out? Yeah.
So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be taken out, but I know my sweet spot is up to like a feasibility study, and then I'm pretty good to step down when things get into permitting or mine building. It's not my passion, and it never will be. So, whether it's a monetizing event or a full changeover of management, that's to be said. What's best for the shareholders at that point in time.
Right. Okay. Well, that's the bit I'm getting to. Is like, what are people buying into day one? How long are they sitting on this thing? Or should, is it short, long, medium, whatever? Can we just talk a little bit about your history? Okay. Because you're a uranium guy, right?
Yes.
And now
correct.
You're after polymetallics. So there's a slight change up there. And if I look at the board, you've kind of got some pretty nice names on there. Doug Ramshaw, we know, gold guy, and obviously Rob is, uranium guy too, and Gavin as well, pretty well known people. But so you're kind of getting an A team together, but who's actually doing the work? Because this is a small company with not a lot of capital.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm the CEO, president of the company, and I'm also acting as VP exploration, and I'm doing a lot of IR and corporate dev myself as well. So I am the real driver behind District Metals, and that's it's not going to be like that forever as we continue to grow. We're on to Tom Tebow. It's an advanced stage exploration project, and starting out with the pre-drilling work, we don't really need to have a big executive role, and it really keeps costs down during this point in time. But we'll be looking to do some significant drilling in early 2021. So that's when to start building some executive roles.
Okay, but back to the question, which was what did you do before at NextGen? What's the relevant experience you're bringing forward into this project?
Okay, so in the Athabasca Basin, I worked as VP Exploration for Alpha Minerals, and also VP Exploration and Development for NextGen. I led the technical teams. I was heavily involved with marketing and raising money to advance those projects, and so that's what I bring to District, in that we're at this advanced stage exploration project, and I'll be driving the exploration and then also raising the money to fund that work as well.
Okay, so it's fairly early stage now. So talk to me about cash position today, what you're going to need to raise this year, and then what you hope to achieve with that, please.
Yeah, so we're fully funded for the pre-drilling work this year. We raised $2.4 million at 12 cents that closed in early June. And, the budget to do all the pre-drilling work, which includes a SkyTem survey, which has never been done on the property. It's just shocking because that's usually step one when you go into these VMS districts that have, properties like conductivity and magnetics. So that's step one. And then I've got a really good database of historical drill data to work from at one of the historical mines called Tom Tebow. There's about 12,000 meters of drilling in 139 holes. And so we're constantly modeling that. And there's already been drill holes or drill targets that have popped up that are really exciting. And so we'll keep it that. And then we're going to be sending some geos into the field in late August to follow up on the airborne anomalies as part of a broader mapping, prospecting, and sampling program. And one of those geos is actually a local expert who was heavily involved with Boliden and specifically with the Garpenberg mine, which is located 25 kilometers away from our Tom Tebow project. And he was really a crucial technical guy in the 1990s. Boliden was considering shutting Garpenberg down, and the work that he did, the structural analysis with his team, really took that mine and brought it to its glory that it's at today, which is over a global resource that's very, very high.
Okay, so you had a bit of data there, right? So you've gone at this with your eyes open, as it were. This isn't pure exploration as such. Clearly, precious metals seeing a bit of a bull run at the moment. You've got some silver in this, but by value, it's 31% today. I'm not quite sure what price the presentation is.
Right now, that's based on $15 an ounce silver.
At 22, it's a bit more, right?
Yeah, and so now it's technically a silver mine because it's gone over the $21 an ounce. So,
but last week it wasn't, right? So.
Correct.
These are all increments, which is great. Like I say, in a bull market, but they don't always stay bull market. So when you made that decision, it wasn't a silver mine, but it helps you now, and it's popped the price, right? Or are you chasing silver?
It's the value of the rock. That's what I'm chasing. Right. Yeah. So, and to that point, like you add up all the contributions from the metals. At what they're mining at Boliden's Garpenberg and at Lundin's Zinkgruvan. And it's astounding how much money they're making off of these, even when the metal prices were lower. So in 2019, for instance, Garpenberg, they produced 2.9 million tons, they mined 2.9 million tons of ore. And I mean, in some VMS camps, that's a deposit on its own. And they just did that in 1 year. And, when you put in $40 a ton for OPEX, and then the value of the ore that was mined out, they're netting over 400 million in 2019. So it's highly profitable. And that's the kind of asset that I want to be driving forward, because that's the one that's going to be, in the eyes of a major mining company.
Right. Yeah, because major mining companies will need to spend an awful lot of capex to get this thing start mining it and be able to kind of capture that value. For a small company, it's a different ball game. So what I'm trying to get at is, what was the strategy you set out to do? Forget what today's silver price is, because that wasn't what you bought into. You're trying to say the value of the rock is in and around us significant. We think we can replicate that to make ourselves attractive. So how do you go about doing that? How do you make yourself attractive, and over what time frame? Again, I'm trying to work out what I'm buying into here. You're not going to put the capex together for this. It's going to require deep pockets from a big company, either coming in and taking you out, or JVing, or whatever structure you want to create, but you're not the guy to take it forward. So what is the thing that in your mind you're focused on delivering over the next 12, 18, 24 months?
Yeah. So the strategy really is going to be proving up the historical drill results and expanding on them, and then getting a resource out, showing, what's there. and with the geophysics also showing what may lie at depth, because there's 2 historic mines on our property, and they go down to about the 200 meter level. And at Zinkgruvan, they're mining down at the 1400 meter level. And all the, the mine workings and the drill results at the historic Tom Tebow mine, the Lovass mine, they show that the mineralization's open at depth and along strike. So what we really need to show is that there's potential for another Garpenberg to exist on our property. And when you look around at some of the existing and historic mines in the region, it looks like a pretty good ballpark for a standalone operation in the Bergslagen, because the infrastructure is so good, would be about 10 million tons. And that's a fairly low bar to hit when you're in the Bergslagen and you're dealing with, the kind of tonnages like Garpenberg alone has already produced about 54 million tons, and they've got about 3 times that in resources and reserves.
Okay, interesting. So just talk me through. So what's the next step? Tell me about this year. What can we expect to see at Tom Tebow with the capital you've got available?
Yeah, absolutely. So this year, and we're well into it right now. We came out of the gates. We released some information on the historic drill holes, and what they mean for the project and for the potential size and scale that exists on the property. Again, the SkyTem survey that we flew is the first time ever a deep penetrating EM magnetic survey has ever been done on the property. So that's being completed recently. We're going to be getting those results back, the final data, at the end of August. Then it needs to be interpreted. And then starting at the end of August, we'll be sending in some geos to do some mapping, prospecting, and sampling around the historic mines and also the mineral occurrences that are in between those historic mines as well.
Okay, so the management's sitting on about 27%. It's a big chunk of this. How much money have you put in?
I initially put 1.6 million in. I did that at 12.5 cents, which was a half cent higher than the 12-cent financing that we closed in at the beginning of June, and I think I've bumped my position up to 1.74 million shares. So I'll always be active, picking away at the market. I have to. I really have to buy in by having a big ownership. And I've always believed that no matter what company I'm with, it's so important to be there. So I'm aligned with the shareholders.
Okay. And what are you paying yourself?
So G&A, myself, 20,000 a month. And then G&A is probably about 32,000 a month. It's fairly lean, and I'm basically justifying that because I'm actively president, CEO, VP exploration. I'm running a lot of roles, and so I think that's quite suitable for where we're at right now. We actually had an outside consultant, Bedford, do a compensation survey, and they were the ones that came up with that number. So,
okay, chief bottle up washer. And what about some of these high net worths that you've got in as well? I mean, this is significant. It's like nearly 50% is high net worths. I say institutional high net worth. So how does that break down?
Yeah. So, one of the most important things for me when we chose District Metals when it was a shell company was the structure and the people involved. Because when I was at Alpha, it had the structure and the people involved, and we got bought out for $7.60 in 2013. Beautiful. That's exactly what you want. That kind of a upward trajectory. When I was at NextGen, the structure wasn't quite there. The asset at NextGen is much better than what Fission has with RRR. But I don't think the share price got above $4.50 because there was more shares out and unsure what hands they were in and whatnot. So going back to District, really had to make sure that we had a good structure and good people involved. So right off the hop, Warren Irwin, Russo Asset Management is a large shareholder. Also Ivan Bevic is a founding shareholder in the company. He's the chairman of Oren, very well respected and a very smart guy. And provides a lot of great advice to myself, which I'm very appreciative of. And Commodity Capital is another fund out of Zurich that we have, and Stevens Management out of California. In the latest financing that we did at 12 cents, I was very happy that we had Sprott US come in, and that was a big tick because their fund manager is a PhD geology, and he did some really good due diligence on myself personally and on the project and on the company. So it really made me feel good that they came in, and he gets the story very well. So there are a couple other funds, Bridgeport Capital out of Kelowna, Breakwater LLP is a fund that's out of Florida as well. So it's to me, I'm really proud of our shareholder registry. It's such an important path forward to make sure everyone is aligned and they know what we're doing. We're building a company. We're going to progress this, using science and take it to a point where, we can do a monetizing event eventually.
Yeah. Okay. And just very quickly on the retail component, there's not 10, 11%. Is that a problem for you?
It depends if you want to buy shares on the open market, because there aren't a lot of shares available. The spread is usually it's quite far apart. So yeah, if you want to get a position, it generally needs to be chased. For the time being, I think it's suitable for where we're at. But as time goes on, we'll be looking to get more liquidity, and with more news that will also occur as well.
I don't know how you're going to get more liquidity just on news. I mean, what's the plan?
More liquidity, getting the story out there. We have the financing that we did in closed in early June. That becomes free trading in September. So I'm sure that there'll become more liquidity from that. I wouldn't expect a lot, but definitely, you've always get certain people that want to sell a little bit, especially when the share price is pretty much tripled and some from the initial financing.
Are you trying to make more of a noise about the silver component in this market, or do you think the actual story stands up on its own 2 feet?
I think I'd be remiss to ignore the silver story on it. To put it in perspective, at Garpenberg, the mine 25 kilometers away from us, the 54 million tons that they've produced historically, the grade of silver is 134 grams per ton. And then they've got about 4.9% zinc, 2.5% lead, 0.3 grams per ton gold, and 0.1% copper. So the silver really is an important component of what we're doing, and the fact that it's going up and a lot of people think it's going to go much higher is very positive for us. So I think it definitely is an important point. And the first kind of transitional mine that I was ever aware of was Olympic Dam. Normally it's a copper mine, but when the price of uranium goes up, it becomes a uranium mine. So I see a very similar kind of comparable to the Bergslag and these very silver rich mines. And then the Falloon mine is a historic mine 25 kilometers on the other side of our project. And that was another end member of polymetallic mineralization that was very rich in gold and copper. So it had 3 grams per ton gold, 3% copper, all the other metals, and that was 28 million tons that was mined, very early on from like medieval times up until the 1990s. So, you can't ignore 3 grams per ton gold with that much tonnage as well.
Okay. I guess time will tell. I'm just interested. The share price seen a little pop in the past few trading days. I think on the news of silver price potentially, and it's too early to actually sort of tell what's going on or what people's view is on the rest of the asset, and you don't necessarily have enough information to share with us yet. But first of all, congratulations, nice little project you've got there. I'd love you to stay in contact with us and let us know how things are progressing. Your track record is obviously speaks for itself. I hope you've got enough capital to do what you need to do. pick up the phone, let us know how you get on.
Absolutely. No, that sounds good. We're really excited to keep this going, and drilling at the historic Tom Tebow mine is like, it's like a geologist's dream come true. So it's going to be a lot of fun.